was what you did on August 5th, 2019 in Kashmir. Unilateral action, violation of our bilateral agreements and international agreements.
First of all, let me say this. As a foreign minister of an SCO member state, Mr. Bhutto-Zardari was treated accordingly. As a promoter, justifier, and I'm sorry to say spokesperson of a terrorism industry, which is the mainstay of Pakistan, his positions were called out and they were countered. As a foreign minister of an SCO member state, Mr. Bhutto-Zardari was treated accordingly. As a promoter, justifier, and I'm sorry to say spokesperson of a terrorism industry, which is the mainstay of Pakistan, his positions were called out and they were countered, including at the SCO meeting itself. So let me come to the specifics. On the China-Pakistan economic corridor, this so-called corridor, I think it was made very clear, not once but twice in the SCO meeting, that connectivity is good for progress, but connectivity cannot violate the territorial integrity and sovereignty of states. So this has been our long-standing position. Nobody should have any doubt about it. And I assure you, those who are in the room today had no doubt about it. I made sure of that. Regarding आपका दूसरा जो था वो G20 के बारे में था. Now, you know, I don't think there is a G20 issue to debate with anybody. Certainly not with a country which is nothing to do with the G20. I mean, Jammu and Kashmir was, is, will always be a part of India. And the G20 meetings are held in all the Indian states and union territories, so it is completely natural that it is held there. जो आपका जो दूसरा सवाल जो था कि from what I understood that India and Pakistan should sit together. You know, victims of terrorism do not sit together with perpetrators of terrorism to discuss terrorism. Victims of terrorism defend themselves, counter acts of terrorism, they call it out, they delegitimize it, and that is exactly what is happening. So to come here and preach these hypocritical words as though we are on the same boat, I mean, they are committing acts of terrorism. And, you know, I don't want to jump the gun on what happened today, but I think we're all feeling equally outraged. So, I think, I mean, let's be very, very clear on this. You know, on this matter, the terrorism matter, I mean, I would say Pakistan's credibility is depleting even faster than its forex reserves. So, you know, let's be clear what this is about. On your question, you know, is this a breakthrough? Look, he came here as a member, a foreign minister of an SCO member state. That is part of multilateral diplomacy. Please do not see it as anything more than that. It was not meant as anything more than that. It was not treated as anything more than that. And I think nothing that from what he said or what I heard he said deserves for this to be treated more than that.
Meaningful engagement or dialogue with our Indian counterparts, our position remains unchanged, and that is that until India reviews the actions it took on August 5th, 2019, Pakistan is not in a position to engage bilaterally with India.
No, that's your unchanged position. Our position is equally firm. Terror and talks don't go together. And until Pakistan is seen to actively do enough to stop cross-border terrorism, to sponsor terror outfits like the Jaish and Lashkar, we can't talk with Pakistan. So it seems, therefore, that the two countries are in, as I said, a deep freeze. How do you respond to India's position? You cannot have terror and talks coexist.
So as far as India's position is concerned, terrorism isn't anything new. It's an old challenge, and despite having to face this challenge, we have had on and off talks. So as far as being a consistent position, I don't quite know how consistent it is. As far as the issue of terrorism, Pakistan wants to deal with terrorism not because India says so or the Indian government said so, but because we want to end this menace. It has caused the largest number of casualties amongst any of the SCO nations present here today. Pakistan has suffered the most casualties. I myself stand here before you today, a victim of terrorism. So Pakistan and myself are wholly committed to combating this menace. As far as accusations are concerned, we are ready and willing to engage and address any concerns that India might have, but India will also have to address our concerns. India would have to explain what Kulbhushan Yadav, not a non-state actor, a state actor, a Navy commander, was doing in Pakistan, carrying out terrorist attacks on Pakistan soil. Does that not come under cross-border terrorism? That's one such complaint. Then of course we all know the incident of Samjhauta Express, where we are yet to see justice. The Lahore incident, terror attack that I presented the dossier before the United Nations. All those questions need to be answered. You claim to have a long list. You refuse to accept that Pakistan has any legitimate concerns. For example, you were saying that the fact that we've caught Kulbhushan Yadav, we can show him to you, the fact that he was a Navy commander in the Indian Army is not a legitimate accusation? Then who is India to defend in Pakistani courts? Who is this man, Kulbhushan Yadav? There's a Mumbai trial ongoing within Pakistan. The reason that trial has not progressed is because India is refusing to produce the witnesses necessary for us to take that case forward. If you compare that with the Samjhauta Express attack, over there everyone was acquitted. At the Mumbai attack, you too would like to see the conclusion of the Mumbai trial.
Yes.
So perhaps you will take it up with the government in India that in order to conclude the Mumbai trial, India should consider sending the witnesses necessary in a court of law. We have a very similar legal system in India and Pakistan.
We provide voluminous evidence,
sir,
Mr.
you can provide as many pieces of paper as you would like, but as your legal system works, so does mine. And in your legal system, along with those pieces of paper, you have to provide witnesses in order for a case to go forward. So until we have that sort of cooperation from the Indian side, this case cannot conclude. Now that I have shared with you my position on the Mumbai case that is sub judice and ongoing, could you perhaps enlighten me that on the Samjhauta attack that took place in 2007, where Pakistanis lost their lives, why it is that India has been unable to hold anybody accountable for that terrorist incident on Indian soil that resulted in Pakistani lives lost?